Morning. Thanks for coming in. Great to see you all. I just wanted to make myself available for questioning. I'm going to make some introductory comments and then go to questions. I'm sure you'll have questions. It was a truly historic night. I think anybody who sat and watched it had to have been impressed by Barack Obama and just the graciousness with which he accepted the voters' wishes in this country. It's good for Colorado that we delivered our 9 electoral votes for Barack Obama. I really have, because I'm a governor of a swing state, have gotten to be with him over the last 6 or 7 weeks, gotten to know him better, and I'm very hopeful. I think there's a couple things about this. I really do believe that Senator Obama understands what we need to do in this country, and particularly as it relates to the economy. It's going to be a difficult slog. I think he acknowledged that, and it's going to be a tough road for us as we emerge from a weakened economy and really go about rebuilding it. The good news is we think that we have a partner in the White House now who understands how to do that, and that we'll partner with Barack Obama in doing that. The lessons that he can take away from Colorado really are around how you can mix both a different energy policy with creating job opportunities. His discussion about this, of course, he uses the tagline that we began to use during the campaign a couple years ago, the new energy economy, is how he talks about it. He talked about it during the debates, he's talked about it during speeches, and so we're just very hopeful, and I guess that's what I would say coming away from last night. I've been in this business, in public life, for a very long time. Certainly, as a native Coloradan, as a person who's a political science major, this has been not just an interest but a passion of mine. I feel a sense of hope unlike any time I've ever felt in my life about the future of this country with his leadership. And I really believe not only his vision for how to move us as a country forward, but also his sense about uniting this country. I think among all the things that he said, the language that he used about, as a country, getting back to an ethic of service. And really he talked as well about the need to think about sacrifice. That was language I think that we needed to hear, but he also talked about his hope and his desire to really unite this country and to govern the United States of America. Not a blue America or a red America, but the United States of America. And that, for my part, it just encourages me in such a significant way. Happy as well about the election of Senator-elect Udall. I was fortunate enough to campaign with Mark Udall over the last month as well. We spent all day Monday together, and I think he's going to be a person who will represent the state extremely well, represent the interests of the state well, and again adds to this partnership that we as a state hope to see in Washington, D.C. at the federal level. The election of Betsy Markey was as well, I think, gratifying for me to know that in the 4th Congressional District, Betsy could get elected. It was once, I think, considered a place that was off limits to Democrats. It certainly isn't that, but it's really the way she campaigned. It was less about her being a Democrat than I think about her really appealing to the people of that district, having a message that resonated with that district as a businesswoman and really as a political centrist. She had a message that was about how to build up that congressional district. We've done so much, again, around the new energy economy in that congressional district that she will benefit from that, but we'll also benefit from her leadership and her representation in Congress. As it related to the amendments, obviously, there's a disappointment on my part on the failure of the Amendment 58. We put time and energy and effort into that, but the voters have spoken, and they spoke pretty clearly. Clearly, a bad economy made it difficult for all of the amendments except for 50. And interesting, 50 was about gaming and not really about the tax structure. But I think the citizens of the state looked at all those amendments in a bad economy and I think largely said no to changing things that are really the status quo and how we tax either sales tax or severance tax. And so we understand that. We're also down ballot, difficult language, we had a lot of money spent against this, but the thing about that is we believed it was the right fight. And I know there are questions in there. Well, you lost this. All I'll tell you is when we looked at how to spend that money, we decided at the end of the day to spend it on financial aid for low and lower middle income families. We really believe that was the right thing to do. Affordability for college, I think, will continue to be an issue for us in this state. And that even with losing that, I have to keep my attention on how to make sure that we educate people who are lower income and lower middle income, how we ensure access to higher education, and in part how we ensure access through affordability. It remains this very significant question, and that's why I believe from the very beginning it was the right fight. So there was so much in the way of good news. It is fantastic to be the governor in a state that is Colorado, and campaigning in Colorado just gives you this feeling once again about what a privilege it is to govern here. We'll take questions, but I think the takeaway from this really is that at the end of the day, Colorado delivered for President-elect Obama, for Mark Udall, for Betsy Markey, for other people in the congressional delegation, because they, as candidates, had a message that resonated with the people of this state. Thank you.
Governor, your next big task is picking a replacement for Secretary of State. How many people are on the list, or you do have a short list, and what kind of person are you looking for? Word is you might be even looking towards a non-politician, a businessman.
Here's the process we're going to go through. If you remember, you may not, I became a district attorney because my predecessor vacated the office 5 months into his term. So I looked at the process Governor Romer put in place to choose, ultimately chose me as the replacement, as the successor to Norm Early. I'm going to use that same kind of process. So I'm going to ask 7 people to be part of really a commission that operates as a vetting commission, and we'll take applications. We'll ask people to submit an application. There will be like I say, a formal application that we'll ask people to fill in and really give us their background and the reason that they like to be the Secretary of State. That commission will take those applications. They'll decide how many to interview. They will interview those individuals. They'll submit a list of 3 finalists to me, and then I will choose, after interviewing, choose among those finalists. We'll try and have that decision made by mid to late December. I did talk to Secretary Coffman this morning, congratulated him on his victory